My man Czar make tracks like this.
What's going on, y'all? I want to give you a review of the TK Audio BC1 Ltd, which stands for their limited edition. So there's only 100 of these being made, and I have number 58. This is to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of TK Audio. So if you're familiar with TK Audio, their products all have a black face with black knobs. Black and white is their color scheme, and as you can see, this limited edition is more of a silver on black versus the black on silver. I really like this faceplate, and it's a nice change from the typical TK Audio line. So this compressor also comes in a rack mount version and 500 series version, though they all have slightly different features. What's special about this limited edition one is that it adds a new feature, which is the grab, and it adds the THD and the high pass filter from the BC501, which is the 500 series version of this compressor. So according to TK Audio, this is one of the most transparent stereo bus compressors ever made. So generally, I use a Smart C1 LA for my bus compressor, and I wanted to give the TK Audio a try and see how it performs so I can compare them. In this video, we're going to focus on the BC1 Ltd. All of the knobs are detinted, which is great for recall, and the knobs have a nice feel to them too. The buttons, the high pass filter, THD, and grab, I would have liked to have lights on them. It's kind of hard for me to tell what's been pressed in or depressed on these style buttons. The THD button is going to add even harmonics to the source, and grab is going to change the knee of the compressor and give it a harder knee. You also have a blend control on here as well. External side chain, and interestingly, you have a mute button which mutes the dry signal. I haven't seen a mute button on a compressor before, so that's an interesting feature to have. So let's take a listen to the BC1. This is a mix from an artist named J-Dog that I just finished. If you took my course on mixing in Studio One, this is the same song. I've just switched out the compression that I was using on the mix bus on the course for the TK BC1. Let's give it a listen. So we're going to start with the settings that I have selected for this that I used, which is a 10 millisecond attack time, 300 millisecond release time. The makeup gain, I've got about 3 dB there, and a 2-to-1 ratio. So, and as this light is in and lit up, the compressor will be engaged. With it out, it will be bypassed. So I'm going to go through and bypass it just with these settings, and then we'll come back around and actually go through all of the other settings on the compressor.
That is paid off. Move my consumer disorbital in his body. Defy the laws of physics, anti-gravity. Neurosurgeon chicken with head get examined. Choose to live a high life, euphorically enhancing. And I won't come down right now, I'm levitating. My heart drop on her mind, girl, download all this data. I should back in the trap, I'm feeling vindicated. Like everything is on sale, this shit is liquidation. Money only thing on my mind, it keep me motivated. Neighbor, all of her blinds with them insinuations. Bitch, just open your mind, let me inseminate it. Can see the hate in your eyes, I'm not intimidated. Must don't think that I'm ballin'. Trap on porn, her shit Hawkins. Corner lockdown with Ocean Throne. Richard Sherman, see Hawkins. In the corner, unnoticed. On fire, thunder, damn Marley. My gas is retarded, it keep my customers calling.
So there's an example of the settings that I used for this mix. Now let's go through some of the other settings. Let's step through the ratios, Let's go with the high pass, all the attack settings. One interesting thing about this compressor is that it has a 60 millisecond and 120 millisecond attack, which is a far longer attack that you see on most bus compressors, especially a SSL style compressor. They generally stop at 30 milliseconds following the SSL. But let's go through the settings and let's run this back.
That is paid off. Move my consumer disorbit in the spine. Defy the laws of physics, anti-gravity. Neurosurgeon chicken with head get examined. Choose to live a high life, euphorically enhanced. And I won't come down right now, I'm levitating. My heart drop on her mind, girl, download all this data. I should back in the trap, I'm feeling vindicated. Like everything is on sale, this shit is liquidation. Money only thing on my mind, it keep me motivated. Neighbor, all of her blinds with them insinuations. Bitch, just open your mind, let me inseminate it. Can see the hate in your eyes, I'm not intimidated. Must don't think that I'm ballin'. Trap on porn, her shit Hawkins. Corner locked down with Ocean Grown. Richard Sherman, see Hawkin. In the corner, unnoticed. On fire, thunder, damn Marley. My gas is retarded, it keep my customers calling. I just picture the Chuck. He move them out often. Don't believe in no handouts, just for my sons and my daughter. If you ain't talking money, then I don't want no involvement. This conversation ain't cash, then honesty, you have lost me. I am all about my cheese Romano, Asiaga cheddar. Racing to the paper, some may say I'm overzealous. Ain't no extensions when it's time stamp collections. Apply the principles of Fetty, overseen by me, a boiler quest of
Okay, so lastly, I want to go through the THD button and the grab button. So again, the THD is going to add even harmonics to the signal, and the grab is going to change the knee. We'll go back to a 2-to-1 ratio. Let's do a 30 millisecond attack with, let's do the auto release. Okay, so let's take a listen to these features. So when I go to this button, on the top will be the THD, and the button on the bottom is the grab.
That is paid off. Move my consumer disorbit in the spine. Defy the laws of physics, anti-gravity. Neurosurgeon chicken with head get examined. Choose to live a high life, euphorically enhanced. And I won't come down right now, I'm levitating. My heart drop on her mind, girl, download all this data. I should back in the trap, I'm feeling vindicated. Like everything is on sale, this shit is liquidation. Money only thing on my mind, it keep me motivated. Neighbor, all of her blinds with them insinuations. Bitch, just open your mind, let me inseminate it. Can see the hate in your eyes, I'm not intimidated. Must don't think that I'm ballin'. Trap on porn, her shit Hawkins. Corner locked down with Ocean Grown. Richard Sherman, see Hawkin. In the corner, unnoticed. On fire, thunder, damn Marley. My gas is retarded, it keep my customers calling. I just picture the Chuck. He move them out often. Don't believe in no handouts, just for my sons and my daughter. If you ain't talking money, then I don't want no involvement. This conversation ain't cash, then honesty, you have lost me. I am all about my cheese Romano, Asiaga cheddar. Racing to the paper, some may say I'm overzealous. Ain't no extensions when it's time stamp collections. Apply the principles of Fetty, overseen by me, a boiler quest of
So there's some examples of the TK Audio BC1 Ltd. So overall, I do agree with TK Audio that it is a very transparent bus compressor. The SSL style compressors are my favorite bus compressors, and this does a really good job at squeezing the mix bus, and it is very clean. The THD and the grab button I do find to be extremely subtle, especially the THD. I really don't hear much happening between the two. And I've listened so hard to the fact that I feel like I'm almost tricking myself into hearing something different there. So very, I don't want to say it's not doing anything, so I'll just say it's very subtle with the THD there. The grab as well is subtle. I didn't show an example here, but I mean, crushing the threshold all the way down and using the grab, I can tell the difference with the knee changing there. However, that's not a way that I would really use this compressor anyway, so I didn't show that here. With the grab, I was expecting it to be maybe a little more aggressive, so this could be something that I could smash drums with. I wasn't really a fan of it with smashing drums, so I mean, at least for me, I think it would stick for really mixing and mastering. Again, the detinted knobs on here is really going to be great for mastering. So there is my review of the TK Audio BC1 Ltd limited edition. Any questions, comments, let me know, and I'll catch y'all next time.